All right, I have Eugene on the air from A-1 Excavating and Grading. Eugene, say hi to everybody.
Hello, everybody.
All right, Eugene has 3 questions, and hopefully I have 3 good answers. Eugene, what do you got, buddy?
All right, my first question would be, what would be the tools that I would need? I plan on doing foundations and basements and erosion control projects, and also residential house demolition.
House demolition. Okay. What equipment do you what when you say tools, I think tools like hand tools, and I also think of equipment such as what will you be demolishing a house with, what will you be digging a basement with, that sort of thing. So I want to differentiate because to me they're all tools.
Right. I have an excavator.
Yeah, what kind of excavator do you have?
A Quebeco SK200.
Oh, you got the bigger one. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you got, what is that, 40,000 pound machine, isn't it?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay. How long have you had that?
About 2 weeks now.
Okay. What year is it?
97.
97. Okay, so that's got a Cummins diesel in it, I believe.
That's correct.
Okay, so you got a pretty good engine, you got a pretty good machine there. Tools. Instead of going out and investing in tools, what I want you to do, Eugene, is I want you to find where you're going to buy your tools from and then buy them on an as-needed basis. I don't want you to have a big cash outlay to buy a $300 set of wrenches that you may not use for 6 months. Instead, if something happens that you need those wrenches or you need those tools specifically, what I want you to do is I want you to be able to know where you're going to get them from, where the best deal is for all the different tools starting out. Okay?
Okay.
That way you're going to keep as much money as possible in your pocket, but more importantly than that, you're going to know exactly where to go around wherever you're at, wherever you're located. So, you know, you're going to need hand tools, so you find out where you're going to buy them from. You know you're going to need maintenance tools for, you know, just doing general maintenance. You know where you're going to go when the time is right. Because there's guys that like Craftsman tools. There's guys that like all the different brands. Some guys like the tools that, you know, if it breaks, they can return it. I don't use those tools because they're a little more expensive, and my guys tend to lose those tools before they ever have a chance to break them.
Okay.
All right. Does that help at all, Eugene?
Yes, sir. That helps a lot.
Okay.
Yes, sir. That does. That helps a lot. My second question would be what tools I would need to maintain my equipment for oil changes. I know you iterated on that about buying, you know, what is needed. So I think that would be, you know, because I know I have to fuel and grease, so I have a fuel tank with the pump. So, but for its greasing, I guess a cordless grease gun would probably be the quickest way to maintain, you know, everything I have.
Some guys like the power grease guns. Again, what I do is I always go with the cheapest tools possible, because if you put your powered grease gun, your $150 powered grease gun on the track, you set it down on the track, and you go start up the piece of equipment, and you hear something weird going on in the engine, and then you crawl up in the engine and you find out that maybe you left the oil plug off, or, you know, the oil cap off or something, right?
Right.
And then you're like, oh, okay, that was a simple fix. Thank goodness my engine's not fried. And you go in there and like, oh, I want to warm things up. But now you forgot you left the grease gun on the track and you run it over. I can't tell you how many grease guns I've had guys run over, or they leave the tailgate off, or they set it on the bumper and it's down the road. And I'd rather lose an $11 grease gun than a $150 grease gun. So I always go with just the simple, I prefer the pistol grip grease gun with a flex hose attachment, okay? Because especially on the heavier equipment and skid loaders, a lot of those grease fittings, they're not right where you can get at them. So if you have a straight line pipe, you're going to have a heck of a time getting in there. So just a nice flex hose, just a short one, a 12-incher. If you get a 20-incher or a longer flex hose, what happens is it sometimes can kink on you. I've never actually had them kink in half, but sometimes I like the shorter flex hose attachments, is I guess what I'm trying to say.
Okay. And the next question would be estimating demo, which would be my bread and butter. So the ways are just pretty much to maximize my profits. When it comes to demolition, when it comes to making sure I can estimate exactly how many cans I would need, ways of basically separating the material, sending the bricks to the clean field to a place that use it as crushed materials, and sending all the wood to the landfill.
It's January, and you are located where?
In Georgia.
You're located in Georgia. How many jobs do you have coming up right now?
Right now, we should have 5 house demos coming up in the middle of February.
All right. This gives you approximately 4 weeks.
Yes, sir.
To find out where the landfills are, what they accept, what they don't accept, what their policies are.
That's correct.
You need to make sure that you know exactly where you're going and what to expect. If you're going to buy cans, so cans, to me, cans mean dumpsters.
Right.
Okay, so a can, you're going to use 10-yard cans, 10-yard dumpsters for the foundation, and you can use 30 and 40-yard dumpsters for the wood. You can't use 30 and 40-yard dumpsters for the block foundation because they do have a 10-ton limit on a dumpster. Okay? So don't go ordering a 40-yard dumpster, sticking all that concrete in it. You're going to find out from the place that they can't pick it up.
Okay.
All right? So that's the first thing. So if you're just going to use dumpsters, a typical house will take 2 to 3 40-yard dumpsters. That's a 1,500 to 2,500 square foot home.
All right.
And then you're going to probably need 2 or 3 10-yard dumpsters for the foundation. But you're going to need, well, I don't know. See, that's for us. We have basements here. Georgia, you probably don't have basements. So
we have a lot of crawl spaces.
Yeah, so you're going to order it on an as-needed basis. So you're probably going to start with 1 dumpster. This is the way I do it. In fact, we're demoing a house today. So as soon as I'm done interviewing you, I interview another person. I go out and I knock down a house. So we have we have the recycling place on a call basis. So when the first dumpster gets full, they bring out another 40-yard dumpster, drop it, and I call it turn and burn. So they go and dropping 1 dumpster, picking another dumpster up. We fill it up, and then we know as we're getting down on the pile if we want to go with 40 yards down to 30, down to a 20, right? We don't want to send a dumpster away half full because we're paying for that void. Because they have flat rate prices for different cans, different dumpsters. And a 40-yard dumpster may be $400 and a 20-yard dumpster may be $300. Well, I'm not going to spend $400 for a 40-yard dumpster and fill it halfway up.
That's correct.
Okay, so just make sure that you have them on a call basis. If you're going to use the cans, shop. There's different prices. I'll tell you straight up, there's tons of places that supply dumpsters around my area. And they all have different prices. And once you establish a relationship, Eugene, with the dumpster company, you're gonna want to establish a relationship. They're gonna want to know who you are. They want to know that you're gonna get your business, and that helps you negotiate your price down on your cans.
Okay. So
that's how I'd go about doing it.
Like I said, it sure helps me out. Like I said, just starting out, you want them to have a good reputation. You only get 1 chance at the first impression. So it's something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, and I sure appreciate all your help. Hey,
don't drive your excavator out onto the main floor cap, okay?
Okay.
So because even though you're on a crawl space and it's only a 4-foot drop, that's not a fun ride in an excavator.
Yes, sir.
Right. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna use that crawl space. That's gonna be your container. That's gonna be like your shipping container. You're not gonna spread the site out across the whole lot. You're gonna knock the house down right on that cap. You may have to punch a hole through the cap. Okay. And you're gonna shove all the debris inside that cap. So all of your if anybody walks by at any time, everything that used to be the house is imploded into where the crawl space is. And then when your dumpsters come, you can just scoop it out. It keeps your site clean. It keeps the broken glass in one place. And when you're going down in there, you know exactly where all your debris is. You can pick it out, and it's not littering all over the place. Also, watch out for vermiculite, okay? You've got to look out for asbestos and vermiculite. Vermiculite is like that fine powdery insulation. That, I don't know about Georgia, but a lot of places that has to be removed separately. One thing that you want to make sure of is when you're demoing a house If you break that seal, because the house is sealed, it's windproof. If you break through that seal and it's vermiculite, the wind will hit it and go poof. And now all of your neighbors have their houses covered in vermiculite. And I'll tell you straight up, you want to keep your reputation. You make sure your job site stays clean, your neighbors' houses stay clean. You may want to knock on doors saying, I'm going to be demoing the house, just letting you know. Everything's good to go. But I'm just letting you know we're going to be working in your neighborhood. That also gives good word of mouth. That also puts a face, your face, Eugene, with your business name. And maybe you hand out a card. Hey, if anything happens, good reason to hand out cards, Eugene. Anything happens, you got any questions, you want to know how this is going, give me a call. I'm the owner.
That's correct.
Yep. Good way of getting your word out there, Eugene.
Yes, sir. That's a good idea.
All right.
Like I say, I sure appreciate it, Stanley. I thank you for all your help, and I'm glad to talk to you, and hope we can talk later in a later date.
If you have any questions,